All right, welcome everyone to episode 8 of the Kota Capper College Football Central show presented by the Kota Sports Gambling Network. My name is Kyle Comas, and joining me we have the co-host of the Gabacho Baracho Soccer Podcast and an avid Husker fan. We got Mr. Corey Adair. We have the host of the Play Me or Fade Me podcast in his better edge hat. We love that. We got Mr. Action Junkie. We have the Michigan State man, the Michigan traveling man. You never know where he's going to be at, but we got him at home today. We got Mr. Beast Picks. And joining as a guest panelist, he's been on the first 2 seasons of the show, but this man's busy being the COO of the Kota Sports Gambling Network. Puma's obviously CEO, but he is the COO of the Kota Sports Gambling Network, so we're able to squeeze him into our show. But as a guest panelist today, we do have Mr. Pacemeyer. Gentlemen, week 7 of college football, excuse me. How are we feeling today? What are the vibes like?
I think we're doing good. I felt like it was a pretty darn good weekend of college football last weekend. Obviously, some big games we'll want to highlight, but I think we're rolling into this week pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, vibes got to be high for this episode. We got the 2 most radio-friendly voices on the episode this week.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think Pace and Action could do a radio show together, and I think it would get quite a few people to listen.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
That's debatable. Maybe just Action.
Not me. Oh, boy. My Daubers down, Kyle. My Gophers, that was a pounding.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, they still scored more than Nebraska did, so you can be proud of that.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
I will say though. Oh yeah, you were saying it in the group chat, Beast. I mean, it's it's time. Give them their dues. Felt like they were sleepwalking that first month, but shit, dude, they just turned it on. Like it's just a whole different level now.
Yeah, you really do hate to see it, especially I think plenty of the guys at the network. We don't really have a ton of love for Michigan as a consensus group, and a lot of that is just they're an easy team to dislike in the Big Ten. But yeah, it's really kind of have to give them their dues. Gosh, it's frustrating when they are that good. Like PJ Fleck made a really good point. Like he's like, this is one of the better football teams he's seen since he started coaching, and I actually don't even think that was that crazy of a take. Like he's right. They play pretty consistent ball. But that makes me want to vomit just saying it, you know.
Right.
I know.
And the thing I was just gonna say the thing is too is, you know, we got people on this podcast who like to knock on Blake Corum, and be that for what it may. JJ McCarthy's playing out of his mind this year so far.
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I was going to talk about. I remember when he was splitting time with Cade, and he had the turnover issues, and they weren't trusting the offense with him. And it was one of those things where when Cade McNamara left, is JJ going to be able to progress? You know, they were talking so highly of him, and I wasn't sold. And even last year in the playoffs, I wasn't sold. And you just can't deny it anymore. That kid is really good at football. He's just really, I hate it. It makes, like you said, Beast, it makes me want to vomit. But that kid is just great at everything he does.
Yep. Very true. Pace, you've been kind of quiet. That's pretty unlike you. What's going on, buddy?
Nothing. I just wanted to get the vibes on everybody, how they think Ohio State is doing this year.
Hey, I got them in the pick'em pool, and
As do I. So
I'm pretty content right now. I you know, I'm not gonna be too upset about it. I'd much rather see them win than Michigan. That might be a hot take, but I'd much rather see Ohio State be league champs.
Well, and that game's going to be in Ann Arbor at the Big House this year. So if Ohio State could find a way to go into the Big House and beat Michigan, I think that's as big of a win as anybody's going to have in the country this year. If they could pull that off, that might be your top win as far as resume goes for any team, just because they're both going to be probably undefeated in that entering that game. I'd be shocked if if either one picked up a loss, but you got Penn State in there too, so I guess you don't really want to write them off, and they're probably getting written off. They're kind of like the black sheep of the family right now, but they're playing pretty good ball too.
I think this might be.
Go ahead.
I said I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I think Michigan. I don't know what that line will be. I don't know if it's out yet or not, but I think Michigan throttles Ohio State. Like puts the boots on them. Like it ain't gonna be close. Like I'm talking like 3 touchdowns, I think.
Whoa. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but I was going to say that.
Dude, I think Michigan is like, I don't know if you got like obviously action watch them, and I'm guessing everybody else did. Like Michigan, like every player, every like the depth they have, they are. I think they're going to win it all. I just think they're head and shoulders above everybody else.
I think it's tough to decipher Ohio State and specifically Kyle McCord, because when you have Marvin Harrison Jr. as a wide receiver, like a lot of QBs can look with that as a wide receiver. But I will say, I love Ohio State's defense this year. I know people talk about their offense. They talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. Their defense has been very, very solid all year long. So I think that maybe that defense comes out and balls out against Michigan, but I don't think that's an unfair take at all, though, Pace, to say that they're going to lose pretty decently. But I think, like Beast said, like we talk about Michigan and Ohio State, don't shy away from Penn State, though. Penn State could shock both of them very easily.
Yeah, I have Penn State's under 9.5 for the season. Don't feel great about that, but I also don't feel terrible about it. But again, like you said, Michigan or Penn State could, boom, be at the top there and easily have 10 wins. So we'll kind of see. I don't know. Wishy-washy on that.
I don't know, Pace, man. I think you're underappreciating the pure hatred of that rivalry and Michigan having won it 2 years in a row. I'm going to say this. You're right. As a unit, as a team, that team is playing the best football in the country. Hands down. And talent-wise, hands down. And talent-wise, they're right up there. They've recruited right up there. They've developed right up there. But there is one team in the Big Ten that has just as much talent, whether they're playing unified like that or not right now. It is Ohio State, and hatred can go a long way, especially when that team up north has won 2 in a row.
For sure. And I do think Ohio State has not played their best football yet. And that's what kind of scares me too.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. I like the vibes though so far, gentlemen. Let's keep these vibes going. We got a great show ahead. We got a great snake draft ahead, but let's start with a trivia question as always. Pace is due to get a trivia question right on this.
Dude,
on this
I
show.
will never get I suck so bad at trivia. It's not like it's so bad.
Hey man,
Pace, as the good host that I am, I actually went in the archives to find the last time you got a correct trivia question on this show. You got to go back to season 1.
I mean, did we have to bring that up? Like, what's going on here?
There's some guys they bring on this show for their knowledge, and then there's other guys for their looks. And I would say me and Pace are kind of on the ladder there.
I wouldn't even get
Agreed.
Pace is the voice. It's definitely the voice.
Yeah,
it's not the knowledge. I know that. It's not the winners for sure. I know that too. So.
Hey, Potato said he's terrible at trivia, and he got one right a couple weeks ago. So
he got one right to spite you.
Yes.
We'll see.
I will say though, Pace and everyone else, I did ask this trivia question to 6 people, as I always do, and 3 got it right. So take that for what it's worth. Every trivia question I've asked so far, like 1 or 2 have gotten it right. 3 people got it right this time. So take that for what it's worth. But Pace is due here, so I'm rooting for you, Pace. I really, really am.
No, I appreciate that.
Rooting for all of you, but I'm really rooting for Pace on this. So for you guys that know, like when I try to look for a trivia question, I try to look for something big that might inspire the trivia question. I couldn't find that this week. So whenever I do that, whenever I can't find something, I always look at stats. So I did come across something that's interesting. So we've done passing in a season, rushing in a season. Let's go to receiving in a season. So only one player in the top 5 for receiving yards in a season was in a Power 5 school. And I'll give you a hint. This player played post 2000. So the trivia question is, who is the only player that's in the top 5 for receiving yards in a season that played at a Power 5 school? So I'll give you time to think about it really quick while I do our ad read. The Kota Capper College Football Central show is sponsored by Better Edge. Better Edge is a social betting marketplace that is legal in 45 different states, and it operates like a marketplace. If you're confused on how that works, let's use an example. Let's use Washington and Oregon being played this weekend. One person on the platform likes Oregon money line, places $10 on that line. Another person on the platform likes Washington money line. They place $10 on that line. Boom. You now got an exchange because you're playing peer-to-peer. You're not playing peer to sportsbook. That's what makes it legal in 45 different states. And what other sportsbook can you say this about? If you don't like a line, create your own line. If someone's on the opposite side of you, you now have that line. That's what makes Better Edge so unique. You know, thing that I personally like about Better Edge is a lot of sports books, when you looked at lines or spreads, they're often lines and spreads or over-unders, excuse me. They're often really, really juiced. Better Edge, you never have that. It's always minus 100, plus 100. You get such a bigger payback for the users. They have competitions as well, such as Battle Royale, Survivor, Chaser, tons of different competitions, kind of like you would on a DraftKings or a bigger platform. They have that as well. And a lot of users compete in those, which makes it fun. And they also incorporate social media. You can post on your timeline with a memo, all your plays. People can fade you. People can ride with you. That's what makes Better Edge so unique as well. Pace, I know you've been kind of big on the Better Edge platform along with everyone at the network. Any overall thoughts maybe I missed or anything that you have to say about the platform?
The withdrawal process is pretty simple. I know a lot of sports books are getting better at that, but I think Better Edge is pretty simple, so that's good. I just kind of like where you can kind of view the feed, kind of like Twitter, you know, see some blogs and stuff, but then you can also on the same app, like, go place your bets. Like, I think that's pretty cool too.
Absolutely. So we love Better Edge here at the Kota Sports Gambling Network and on the show. Go to their website, www.betteredge.com. Use promo code Kyle, Beast, Play Me, Corey, and Pace as well. Use any of our promo codes. You get $20 added to your account. I mean, that is free money. You put $20 in, you get $20 back. www.betteredge.com. So, gentlemen, again, trivia question I asked you for this week. Receiving yards in a season, only one person on that list in the top 5 played at a Power 5 school, and that player played after the year 2000. I hate doing this because nobody ever wants to go first, so I just got to choose somebody. Beast will. Oh no, go ahead, Corey. Corey put his hand up. Who do you think it is?
Michael Crabtree.
Michael Crabtree. Okay. Action. Who do you think it is?
I think this is timely since he scored 3 touchdowns last week. Jamar Chase.
Okay. Beast. Who do you think it is?
I like Action's thinking there because I was thinking somebody from the LSU offense, but just to kind of change it up, I think I'm going to go Devontae Smith. We'll go Devontae Smith.
Okay, I think you might have took that from Pace based off the reaction, but Pace, wrap it up. Who do you think it is?
Beast 100% took mine. He's fast, right? He can get downfield, so that's kind of why I thought. But again, I don't know how many years he spent in college. Since I don't want to do the same one, I'll go Hopkins, DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay, sounds good. Well, one of you is correct, so very good on that. This particular player had 1,962 receiving yards one year in college. It was in 2007, and it was Michael Crabtree.
Ooh, there we
go.
I just knew that air raid system he started for 3 years. They were really prolific. My main goal there was who did it the longest, and it was Crabtree in my head.
Was that Alex Smith? Or no, not Alex Smith.
Graham
Who's
Harrell.
quarterback?
Graham Harrell.
Yeah.
Because I think Harrell that year also was in the top. He's in the top 5 for passing in a season, and I believe that year that he had Crabtree, he was in the top 5. So,
and that was the year of the 3-way tie in the South.
Yes, it was. Yes, indeed. But nope, very, very good there, Corey. Pace. Hopefully, you come on next week, and we'll give you another shot at it. How about that?
Hey, my original guess somebody else took, so I just feel good about that.
Absolutely. But Pace, I will say this before we move on. I may have had a shot at you for the trivia stat I just gave. The question you got right might have been the hardest question I've asked in the history of the show. So I will give you that. I will give you that.
See, I'm just holding on to that.
Yep, absolutely. But all right, well, Corey, very nicely done. We'll add that on to your wins here. But before we go to our Week 7 snake draft, really quick, let's highlight on Week 6. We had a lot of great games happen. A lot of crazy stuff happened Week 6. Let's highlight Week 6 really quick. Corey, we'll start with you. What really stood out to you Week 6?
I mean, the end of that Red River shootout, right? That was absolutely insane. You know, down and out, game's over, you think, and not so fast. I mean, what else do you expect from that rivalry? It was just another classic, and the good guys won. So that's always a bonus for me. But yeah, that was really my highlight was watching that game. I especially got Kale to throw the horns down for the group chat, and
Yes,
it was awesome. Loved it.
I'll add on to that because obviously that was I actually had a wedding this weekend, so the Red River game was the only game I actually watched this weekend. So that's why I'm going to talk about it. But it was called for the while there a Red River shootout, and there's a reason for that. 34-30 final. I mean, ups and downs for both. It was crazy. But first of all, what an absolutely wild start this game had. Ewers throws a pick, second play of the game. Oklahoma goes down to score. Texas is driving, should score another touchdown here. The wide receiver gets lit up. Another interception by Ewers. Oklahoma goes 3 and out, blocked punt, touchdown. What an absolutely insane start to this game. But I think what really stands out to this game is Sarkisian was playing safe and Venables wasn't. And that's what it really comes down to. Sarkisian had the opportunity, be aggressive, get closer down the field, waste time, and he chose not to do that. He chose to play safe. He chose to run and just get a field goal to win it. And Venables said, the hell with going for a field goal. Let's win the damn thing. So this is a time where aggressive beats safe. And I just think Sarkisian played very, very safe at the end of the game, whereas Venables played a little more aggressive. So really, that's what kind of stood out for me. Pace, what about you?
I'm just sick and tired of watching football when you have a chance 4th and 4, you're deep in enemy territory and you don't push it forward. Like, I get you want to get points and stuff like that, but like you just, it's a Red River shootout. Kyle said it. There's going to be points scored. So you just knew Oklahoma was going to respond. We see it in NFL games all the time. And it just makes me so mad. Like, it's 4th and 4. Go win the game. Show me some balls. That's what we're here to do. We're here to watch football. We're here to watch, like Corey says, hard hits and hold on to our balls and win some games. So again, great game. Like Kyle mentioned, I thought it was a phenomenal game. Wyoming off to a 5-1 start. Former North Dakota State head coach Craig Bull looking good. I think they even ended, and the Huskers. There you go. I think they even ended Fresno State's like 14-game winning streak. I think that was second longest in the nation as well. So pretty cool there, Wyoming. Just it's always fun to see like who's going to go to Wyoming. Like, where is Wyoming on the map? I have no idea. Like, it's so cool to see a team like that just out in the middle of literally nowhere, off to a 5-1 start. And then Pac-12 after dark. Well, can we say that anymore? I don't know. USC, Arizona, 3 overtimes. Like, how fun is that? That's college football in a nutshell right there.
You know, I'm really glad you brought up the Wyoming game because you had a pretty sharp group of panelists last week calling that Wyoming win.
Yes,
100%. Yeah.
A money line and a spread on that. So yeah, nicely done, Action and Corey on that. Action, what about you? What stood out week 6?
I'm moving forward. December the 2nd is the date. It's the Big 12 championship game. I will tell you right now, Texas is going to beat Oklahoma by 4 touchdowns or more. Put it down in stone. Texas will absolutely kick OU's butt the next time around. I don't want to talk about the past. I'm looking forward.
Woo. I love it.
Wow. Okay.
What Action? What change? Like, what changes?
Everything.
Now, I might not agree with the 4 touchdowns thing, but I do agree that it's hard to beat the same team twice, and that revenge factor in a championship game is a big deal. So Texas winning in the Big 12 title game would not shock me.
I would right now. I should go just put a ton on it, right? Because Texas is going to win the Big 12 championship game. You know what? I have enough units on Texas already. I might as well put another house payment on it. Let's do it.
Put a second mortgage on it. Why not?
Yeah. I just got one of those home equity things in the mail. Might as well do it.
We clip a lot of stuff on this show. I think I know what the first thing is going to be clipped and posted on Twitter is going to be.
Save it for December the 2nd. I can't wait.
All right. Very good. Beast, wrap it up. What stood up to you week 6?
I mean, you guys said some really good points on the Oklahoma-Texas game, obviously. Biggest thing that stood out to me in that game that I'm sure some people have highlighted a little bit out there, but Dylan Gabriel's legs in that game was probably the difference maker. I mean, yes, he was throwing the ball well, but he rushed for over 100 yards, I believe. So really impressed with, his ability to kind of figure okay, maybe we go a little bit of a different game plan than what we've been doing for the majority of the year. And they decided to run the ball a little bit more, and it worked. So clearly they saw something that they were like, we'll switch it up a little bit. But the other game that was obviously big this weekend that probably wasn't expected to be that big was Arizona State and Colorado. For anybody that's been following the whole Dion thing this year in Colorado, I tell you what, I was high on Arizona State last week. I had their money line, I had their spread. I was glad they covered the spread, but Colorado, I mean, really ugly game in many ways. If this team is supposedly, the big dogs, they struggled a lot, down in Tempe. And I got to say that's the type of game that I was kind of expecting. And I think that kind of goes to show that any hype that might have surrounded Colorado before, this team is just about that. I mean, they relied on a couple of pretty nice field goals from that kicker. Feely had multiple 40-yard kicks, late in that game that I think were the difference. Obviously, the one was to win the game, but they easily could have lost that game, I guess is my point. And that's just kind of what you're going to get out of Colorado is they're going to slip up at some point here and they're going to lose the game to a team that they really shouldn't lose to if you're supposedly good. So we'll see. But that was a fun game to watch too, if anybody was able to tune into that one.
Beast, to go back to your point about Texas OU, the if you haven't seen or read about the Dylan Gabriel story either, like his journey, like go check that out. It's so sick.
It is.
Super sick.
Yep, it really is.
And then LSU, what a cover as well. I just wanted to mention that because that was crazy.
Over odds, dude.
Yeah. Insane.
Just from the grave, like I had LSU spread, so that was huge. I still lost units last week, but that was still huge for me to get that. I can't believe nobody talked about this. What in the hell was Miami doing at the end of that game?
Oh,
whenever they're up, decide not to take a knee, run the ball, fumble it, and Georgia Tech goes down and scores. What the hell are you doing?
Dude, that shit only happens in video games and with Miami, apparently. I mean, I hate Miami, so I love to see it. But, dude, how Cristobal, because it's still Cristobal there, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How he even had a job after the clock hit zeros is beyond me. Like, that is instantly fireable, in my opinion. Like, you just don't even get on the bus and go home after that. That insane.
It was funny after the game too, because they interviewed him about it. He goes, "It was the wrong call." Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, I couldn't believe that. Like that might go down as one of the worst coaching decisions in our lifetime, maybe.
Dude, I thought I had it bad with Frost kicking onside field goals up 11 and shit. My God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking he had a prop bet. He needed the running back to go over the yards or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there we go.
Maybe.
You know what? Maybe he had over under 0.5 fumbles or something. I don't know. He's like, maybe I can see if we get one more play to see if he'll do it.
I think Miami's still a decent football team though. So Kyle, watch out November 11th against Florida State.
True.
Yeah.
I do think that obviously that's a win that, or I should say loss, but a loss that you sit there and you're like, wow, this is going to be a big difference in where we end up, as far as a bowl game late in the season, just because you didn't decide to knee it out. Like it could realistically be a large difference, obviously in standings, but bowl games especially too.
Yeah, for sure. All right, gentlemen, that was good conversation. Let's dive into our regular show. Let's go to our week 7 snake draft. For those of you that are tuning in for the first time, we have 5 panelists. We have 5 rounds of snake draft. We are giving you 25 picks for college football. Nothing better than that. Every single person on the panel must have a full game spread, a full game over under, a money line. All 3 of those via our friends at Better Edge. Once again, shout out to them. A team total and a first half total. Everybody on the panel must have at least one of those. Let's go really quick, go through the standings for last week. I did win last week with a 4-1 plus 5.63 unit day. That was my second snake draft win of the year. DJ, our guest panelist, came in second with a 3-2 plus 3.08 unit day. Action came in third with a 3-2 plus 2.92 unit day. PG came in fourth with a 2-3 minus 1.19 unit day, and Corey came in fifth with a 2-3 minus 3.343 unit day. Overall, year to date, we are 71, 53, and 1, hitting at a 57% clip, and we're up 13.75 units on the year. So far, so good for the snake draft. I love that. So we did the order again via the wheel to start. Action, it will be going first, followed by Pace. Beast will be 3, Corey 4, and then I will be 5, and then I will start round 2, and we'll go all the way back down the line via snake draft. But Action, you spoiled it to us already because you knew none of us were going to take it, but let's tell the people here, what do you got with the number 1 overall pick?
I was just messing with you guys because I was going to pick a game that's already complete, or I was going to cash automatically. But
oh, sure.
Here's the problem with this panel. I know Corey loves unders. I have 3 unders I absolutely love this week. And in this one spot, I feel like I'm not going to get the other 2 that I want on the way back. So it's a flip of the coin. I'm actually going to play Oregon State, UCLA, first half under 26.5. That was a very tough one to pull the trigger on. Chip Kelly's got a defense. I looked this up. The Bruins are giving up just 256 yards per game. They held Washington State last week to 216 yards of total offense after Washington State had 528 yards of offense against Oregon State. I'm not a big fan of the Bruins offense, but I like the defense. I also like the Oregon State defense. So first half under 26.5 for me. And I get that one at a true minus 110.
Okay. Sounds good. I actually, I didn't have that as one of my 2 I have written down, but that was close. I do like that a lot. And UCLA just, you have a freshman QB starting, so the offense really hasn't clicked yet. But yeah, and I don't, because this is in Corvallis, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. You're just not going to score much there, I don't think. So I like the pick.
And I think UCLA's defense legit. The most they've given up all year is 17 points. That was last week.
Yep. Okay. Sounds good. Action. Pace, we will go to you with your first round pick.
Well, I'll follow Action. If unders are hot, I'll take an under here. So I'm gonna go first half under Utah Cal under 23.5. For that one, Cal, offensively, so okay, but you're going against Utah, and that's a top defense right there. So I just think they maybe get shell shocked right off the bat. And not saying that the under doesn't hit. I do also like the under, but I'm gonna take the first half here, 23.5. I don't know if I can buy a point, but I'd love it at 24. But I will take under 23.5.
What do you got for a line on that there, Pace?
It's actually minus 118.
Minus 118. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I couldn't handicap this game just because, and I'm being serious, like one person shouldn't change an opinion, but Rising playing or not in this game absolutely shifts my opinion. And I love Kyle Whittingham as a coach. He's probably one of my favorite. That's not of a team I like. Frickin' tell us if he's going to play or not. Like, how are we supposed to have any action on this game if we don't know that? So I stayed away from that game. But irregardless, I think whether Rising plays or not, I don't think that first half's going to be very high scoring. So,
yeah, I mean, he hasn't played legitimate football in how long? So, I mean,
Rose Bowl.
Even if he gets in, I mean, you would just think. But I always think, should I fade myself because I'm so terrible this season? Like, I could also see if he comes out and just freaking lights it on fire, So, like, I'm going with the under.
First play of the game, just like a 90-yard bomb.
See, now you jinxed. Now, see, this loss is already on you.
So. No. You can't put that on me. I only jinx myself. I don't jinx other people here on the show. Okay. Well, good pick. Pace Beast, we'll go to you now.
All right. We're going to go with first round picks. It's going to be Kansas, Oklahoma State, under 58. We're going to keep the trend of these unders going. Listen, I won't mince words. Oklahoma State stinks. They're like the skunk that you run over on the side of the road, man. They stink, dude. They really do. But sometimes we like teams that stink when we're talking about unders. They're 4-1 to the under this year. And people might say, but Kansas is good. Kansas has had some struggles on the road this year. There are 2 games on the road that they've played. They had a really kind of ugly, tight win against Nevada. And then obviously we saw them get the brakes beaten off but them by Texas when they traveled, on the road for that game. So Kansas hasn't necessarily been tested a ton on the road. I think they might come out very gritty, very ugly to start. Listen, 58 points is a lot of points. We're going to trust that Oklahoma State stinks that much and that Kansas hits, just a couple rough patches. All we need, couple drives to, probably fizzle out, and we can go under 58 there.
Yeah, we're how many games into the season and Oklahoma State's still rotating QBs like that? Yeah, that team stinks.
They do.
Okay, sounds good. Well, we'll keep on moving. I got a feeling I know the route Corey's going to take, but we'll see.
No, I don't think anybody knows the route I'm about to go. This is because I don't have my bread and butter 5-unit play to make anymore. Like Nebraska's on a bye week, so I don't. I actually was really nervous this morning when I woke up because I was like, man, am I going to find a line that I love for a 5-unit play? And then I just said, don't overthink it. Keep it nice and simple. Something that's been working pretty well all year. We're going to go Auburn at LSU over 61.
Okay.
LSU's games have hit the over. They're 5-0 with like a 17-point average differential hitting the over. I mean, this is something you just ride. You just ride till the wheels fall off. Auburn's been pretty good at running the ball. LSU can't stop anything on defense. I expect points. I fully expect points. Thought I was going with an under though, didn't you?
I did. I really did.
And I think I know what under you thought I was going to go with. We'll see what happens next.
Perhaps. Yeah, I thought that was the route you were going to go. And yeah, that is tough because your normal bread and butter isn't playing this week. So you did have to kind of pivot.
Yep. I mean, all the Big Ten games are still on the board, so I got to pick coming back my way here pretty soon. We'll see what happens.
Corey, what you said 60.5, right?
61. Sorry, 61.
61.
Minus 110.
All right. Damn.
Minus 100 on better edge, my guy.
There we go.
Absolutely. All right. So I have back-to-back here. My first round play, a little bit in the weeds. Maybe to me, it's not in the weeds, but to most people, it might be in the weeds. I'm going to take in my first round, I'm going to take Troy minus 4.5 against Army. The Trojans, they've had a lot of great success this year running the ball. In fact, their running back, Kamani Vidal, is leading the NCAA with 835 rushing yards. And this is pretty unusual, but Army stinks against the run this year. Normally, they're usually pretty solid against the run. They're giving up 196 rushing yards per game. I think Vidal's going to run all over them. And Troy's defense has been solid. Outside of the Kansas State game, they've only allowed about 18 points per game. Army is way, way worse than what they have been offensively. And the thing that I really like most, and this is kind of the icing on the cake for me, 64% of the public is betting Army, but the line has moved in Troy's favor by 3 points. I love that reverse line movement. Troy minus 4.5 is going to be my first round pick.
I like it. I really do. We're always a fan of Troy over here.
I definitely like Troy, but I just struggle to bet against Soup's academies anymore.
I know. All three of them. I forgot he has all three of them in the college football team contest. And then I'm going to go to a money line for my second round play. We're going to start the second round here. Action bet a pretty hefty underdog last week and won. And I like an underdog this week. I like a lot. And at a plus 188, I'm taking BYU over TCU as my money line play. This line doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I get it's in Fort Worth, but that doesn't warrant a spread of 5, let alone a money line at plus 188. Look at how TCU's played so far. They gave up 45 points to Colorado in week 1. They got wins against an FCS Nicholls State and extremely below average Houston. And they did have one good win against SMU, but now they proceeded to lose to West Virginia and Iowa State. Meanwhile, BYU's only loss this year is to Kansas. They did beat Arkansas on the road this year. Slovis is playing really, really solid. I don't get that money line at all. I don't get the spread. I think the line is really, really weird, and I don't like it. So I'm willing to put 4 units on it. I'm taking BYU money line over TCU as my second round play.
I love it. Plus the TCU quarterback's out now, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't
Chandler Morris is going to be out multiple games, it said.
Ooh,
okay.
that's a big detail. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that when I made the play, but now I like it now. I really like it now. So thank you for that action. That's why we bring you on these shows. All right. We will move right along then. Corey, your second round play worth 4 units.
Yep, I'm gonna go. We're reverting back to the method here, the method behind the madness. There is an under that I absolutely love in the Big Ten. It is strong versus strong on one side of the ball, and then the other side of the ball, they are just anemic at scoring. I'm really sorry, Beast, but we're gonna take Michigan State Rutgers under 40.5.
You already took a total.
Oh, then give me whatever the first half under is on that. I'll look it up real quick.
I believe I saw it at like 20.5 or maybe 19.5. So I guess whatever you find. That's a big difference though of that 20.5 versus 19.5. So
for me, it doesn't matter in that game. I think all the unders hit in that game. Team total unders. I just think that's an under recipe. Michigan State's actually pretty good at stopping the run, and Rutgers can't throw it very well. So I think that matchup bodes well for an under. And then Michigan State's going to try to move it. Rutgers' defense is pretty solid. I mean, everything about it screams a few first downs and a punt over and over and over again, maybe a turnover here and there. First half is 19.5 minus 112.
Okay. Sounds good. Beast is the Michigan State fan on the panel. Any thoughts about the play?
I don't mind it. I do think that game, if Michigan State's going to win it, which I'm hoping they can, they're going to need to make it ugly. You don't want to get into a shootout if you're Michigan State because you don't have the firepower to do it. So the only way you can beat teams right now is if your defense can play, pretty lockdown ball at this point. So,
well, and that's where I really like the matchup, to be perfectly honest, because if you don't let Rutgers run it, the game gets ugly. That's just what happens. If they can't run it, it's ugly.
Yeah, no, it's spot on. And Michigan State's probably best player on that offense, maybe best player on the team, which isn't that crazy to say, is their running back, Nathan Carter. He's a stud. People just don't recognize it because Michigan State sucks. Nobody watches Michigan State. That's flat out it. But he's had some really good games this year. So we'll see. So maybe they kind of rely on the run game. We'll see.
Okay. Excuse me. Sounds good. Beast, we will go to you now with your second round pick.
All right. We're going to go second round pick, Texas A&M +3 at Tennessee. Some books you might be able to find 3.5, but I'm going to take the +3 on Better Edge, get the better line, not paying as much juice by doing that. This is a classic trap game, if you ask me. Tennessee, they're the ranked team. They seem, like the better team. Everything's going to point their way. A lot of people, wow, it's only a 3-point spread. What are you talking about? Listen, the Aggies they're still good. They had a couple impressive wins, in my opinion, over Auburn and Arkansas. And then they have this letdown game against, Alabama. And everybody's kind of saying, well, maybe they're not that good anymore. Listen, they can still play. They'll still be all right. Their quarterback, Weidman, he got hurt in that game against Auburn, I should say. Was banged up. Not as much going for him. But anyways, the big thing for me here that really kind of stood out and was kind of what pushed me over the edge is Tennessee gets Bama, in the following week. So this could be a real look-ahead spot where you kind of overlook a Texas A&M team that really hasn't been that bad. And you come out, you're really just kind of focusing on that, Bama game that you got coming up, and a couple of those flaws come out. And we've seen some flaws out of Tennessee. Obviously, they lost to Florida, and they looked pretty bad in that game. So we know that there's some bad football to be played if they don't play up to how they should. So in my opinion, that line doesn't make a ton of sense, and that's why it makes sense, is all of these kinds of potential look ahead, potentially not really giving Texas A&M enough credit, all those things. At +3, it's a gorgeous line to me, just because it seems like it wouldn't make sense to the naked eye, I guess.
I think a lot of books too are kind of really focused on last week.
Mm-hmm.
with the Alabama game. So I think that that's causing that line to be like that. But no, I like it a lot, and this very well could be a look ahead game, like you said, with them having with Tennessee having Bama next week. So okay, sounds good. Pacey, we'll go to you with your second round play.
Yes. All right. Well, this might be a long shot, but I'm going to take, because of what everybody said about Colorado in the beginning, I think somebody would take this. I'm going to take Stanford money line plus 330.
Whoa.
Love it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think personally that Colorado's a ticking time bomb. I think that it's all just going to blow up all of a sudden. And I mean, it could get ugly. Again, I love the story at the beginning, right? I still like the story. If they turn it around and, obviously coming off a win, if they keep rolling, that's cool too. But to me, this kind of feels like, hey, this is college football. This is where the big boys play. Colorado just feels like a ticking time bomb. I'll take Stanford. Who knows? Who the hell knows?
And you're willing to put 4 units on it too. Wow.
I am, because listen, I'm on this show for the first time this season. Next week will be the second, and then the regular crew comes back. So I got to make a splash here.
So hey, Pace, with you making that comment, that kind of leads into exactly what I was feeling when Beast was talking about Colorado at the beginning of the episode. Doesn't it feel like they're winning these games and they're treating them each like individual Super Bowls? I mean, it's unsustainable. Yeah. It is absolutely unsustainable how much they're getting up emotionally and how much they're treating each week like it's a Super Bowl and it's like them against the world. I mean, eventually your, tank gets drained, right? And I think
100%.
And I think that's what you're getting at when you say ticking time bomb. Like eventually they're just going to go flat. Completely.
Yep. Agreed 100%. Even if you look at like the top teams in the nation, right? Michigan, like they go into every game, boom. Hey, 1-0 this week. Let's dominate. Let's move on to the next. All right, boom. So like I just feel that those are the teams that they should be modeling themselves after, and they're doing the complete opposite. So, but again, you got Dion. That's how you roll. So.
Okay. Wow. That's plus 12 units if that hits. So I wish you good luck, sir.
I mean, I will ride that win into the next 5 seasons, guaranteed, if that hits.
I think we're all Stanford Cardinal this week. Absolutely.
And that's the other thing. Everyone's going to be like cheering for Stanford. So like, if I'm watching that game, I don't want to be on Colorado.
Dude, we'll say it at the end. I'll say it at the end after the snake draft.
All right.
I will say, Pace, before we move on, I know you handled the social media for the Kota Sports Gambling Network, and you're very good about promoting, well, you and others, I know, but you're very good at promoting other people at the network. If Stanford hits, the network better be tweeting this clip, because you absolutely deserve your flowers.
I will schedule this clip like every Monday morning just to remind people. Like, that's right. I'll put in my Twitter bio. I think doesn't Dave Portnoy had like he picked Farley Dickinson or something. So
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, good luck, Pace. We'll see how that works out for you. Action, you do have back-to-back picks here. We'll start with your second round play worth 4 units.
That's a tough act to follow. I'll be really boring. Guess what? I'll go UCLA, Oregon State for the game under 54.5. I've been known to like the same game multiple times, and I'll do it again. And that one is at a -110. And then with my 3-star pick, this is a tough one to do because the team is averaging over 40 points per game. They've scored 40 points in every game this season, but I'm going to take USC under 30.5 at a -115. I think Notre Dame wins a football game. I looked at the weather report. It's going to be a fall night in South Bend, 50 degrees, winds of 15 to 20 miles an hour, potential rain, and Notre Dame should run the football. So if anything can stop Caleb Williams, we know it's not in the sunshine out west. It's going to be in the Midwest with cold, wet, windy conditions. USC under 30.5.
Love that.
Okay. Yeah, I know team total over is most people's plays with USC, but yeah. We've been known in this podcast, and most people that said this are no longer on the podcast, that weather doesn't matter. But I think weather definitely matters in a scenario like that. And really quick, UCLA.
Hold up. Last time I said weather matters, I remember a specific man named Kyle Comas in the group chat saying weather doesn't matter.
No. Don't say that was on purpose. That was absolutely a bit to get the people that used to say weather doesn't matter to be on my side.
Okay. I appreciate the explanation. I had to.
Yes. No, I absolutely did not mean that, because we actually, so story time really quick before we go to Pace's pick. Me, Soup, and DJ used to always say weather doesn't matter to Dan, and Dan got super triggered about it. So that's why we just kept saying weather doesn't matter, because we knew it did, but Dan got so mad at it that it just kept going.
Okay, that's fair.
UCLA, Oregon State, what was the full game under at action?
54.5 minus 110.
54.5. And actually that'd be minus 100 on Better Edge.
There we go.
Even better for you, but okay, very good. Nope, good picks there. I like that. Pacey, we'll go to you now with your third round pick. We're 3 units.
All right, nothing super crazy as my second round pick, but I'm going to take Utah State at home plus 5.5. Taking on Fresno State. Fresno State just obviously went to Laramie, right? And yeah, I think that game was in Wyoming. And now they got to go to Utah State. Again, I'm not saying Utah State's tremendous, but Fresno State coming off their first loss, how are they going to respond? I'll ride the home team here.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, they like you said, they got a big loss to Wyoming last week. We had a couple panelists in the show that called that, so maybe they're on a little bit of a downward spiral here. So okay, sounds good. Beast, we will go to you now with your third round pick.
All right, we're kind of sticking with some themes here. We're gonna take an under here again. We're gonna go Syracuse, Florida State, first half under 29.5. And we're going with another theme, which is the whole grit thing. You know, nothing is gonna be better than seeing Florida State get into some weird first half gritty matchup with a Syracuse team that probably hasn't impressed anybody this year for the most part, but I think something about this game, I think Syracuse somehow can get a little gritty. Like I said, put up enough defensively. Nothing impresses me about Syracuse on offense. I won't deny it, but that's good for our under. But their defense, I think, can do enough. Maybe you get a little bit of just a dogfight for this first half before Florida State kind of puts on the burners in the second half. So, you know, you stay away from the full game under, but I'll take under 29.5. That is a ton of points for a first half of football. And I don't think we're going to get much out of Syracuse. So the hope is that Florida State doesn't put up 30 themselves. So I'm going to take that first half under 29.5 there.
That's a massive first half under.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No,
five scores.
Yeah, it's a ton of points. So I like that. And that's minus 110.
Yeah, that is a huge first half under.
That's got to be one of the highest ones in the season.
Yeah, I mean, you're really looking for 27, 28 is that perfect number. So to see it at 29.5, I would have been content taking it at 28, you know, so we just got to stay under 30. So just got to hope that the defenses don't fall apart here.
USC Colorado was a pretty big first half over.
Oh yeah.
That one smashed.
Other than the obvious ones, for sure. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And the Oklahoma Texas game was in the 30s for their
in the
first
30s.
half.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, sounds good. Corey, we'll go to you with your third round pick.
I'm shocked that this one's on the board still. And Beast already made a play on this game. I think it's still on the board. Is Kansas -3 still on the board?
Sure is.
How is that still? Guys, what are we doing here? I can't believe I didn't take it in the fourth round. I don't know what we're doing here. KU -3 at Oklahoma State. What time's kickoff? It's not even a night game. Oklahoma State, super stinky, giving up 150 rushing yards a game. I mean, Kansas isn't even gonna have to throw the ball. They're gonna cover that 3. I mean, they were down Daniels last week and they dropped 51 on UCF. I mean, and
is
they
Daniels back?
No, he's doubtful, but they only needed to throw it 12 times against UCF. And I would probably compare UCF's run defense to Oklahoma State's. So I don't think it matters who's a quarterback against that team. -3? -3?
Yeah, it just went down to 3 once Daniels was confirmed out. Because I have it on my card as well. So good play.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay. Nope. I like that too. And actually, not only did I think Bean is his name, the quarterback. I think not only did he have to throw it 12 times, both their running backs rushed for over 130 yards. Their running backs killed it against UCF last week.
Yeah. Fun fact on that though, Bean has made 24 starts there, or 24 starts in his career. He beat Oklahoma State last year with over 200 yards of passing. And since the TCU game last year, the backup quarterback Bean actually has 18 touchdowns and 4 INTs, just to add to Corey's play. I really like that one.
Yeah. He's a good player, man. I remember watching him last year and being really impressed. I was kind of shocked he didn't try to go and play somewhere else if he was kind of hearing the stuff with Daniels, if he felt like he could have played somewhere else. But hey, he's going to get his shot, man.
Oh, I needed him last year for my team total wins over 2.5 because Daniels got hurt like week 2. So, yeah. I mean, he's been good for Kansas this entire time. And that was why last week when I took that over, I didn't even think twice about it, whether Daniels was playing or not.
Yep.
And not only to add on to like the Oklahoma State QB rotation they have, one of the QBs is Gundy's son, I believe.
It is.
Yeah, they have actually settled on a QB since the South Alabama loss, though. So last 2 weeks they've only played one. So I think the musical chairs at QB is done. But still, when you had to go 3 weeks with 3 quarterbacks rotating in, not a good sign for Oklahoma State.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, to the Cowboys' credit, that Bowman kid played decent against Kansas State. He didn't look terrible.
Yeah, Will Howard looked really good for Oklahoma State in that game.
That's true. So did Ollie Gordon.
Okay. Well, sounds good. Good play, Corey. I have back-to-back here, and both of my plays, I've been in the weeds for one of my plays, and I'm going to be in the weeds with these 2 plays here. So I'm going to go back-to-back. I'm going to start with a first half play, and I'm going to go Navy Charlotte first half under 22.5 at a -108 on DraftKings. That's a low first half, but these teams have combined for a total of 19 points per game in the first half combined. With the offense that Navy runs, and I know they got a new head coach, no, their offense hasn't changed as much as people thought it would. Their pace of play is already naturally slower. And Charlotte, they've struggled on offense, finding a rhythm. Their QB that they have 2 QBs. Both of them have passed for less than 500 yards. Their leading rusher has only rushed for 317. This offense is terrible. And with Navy playing naturally slow already, I just see a very, very slow-paced first half. So I'm taking Navy Charlotte first half under 22.5 at a -108. And
don't hit it. Navy, I think, also has hit some like 3 straight overs in the first half is the only thing, but don't hate it.
Okay. I accidentally mushed one of yours. So if you accidentally mush one of mine, we'll call it a truce.
Yes. There we go.
We'll call it a truce then. And then I'm going to go to a full game total. And again, I'm staying in the weeds. I'm going to go to the MAC, and I'm going to take Ohio, Northern Illinois over 47. Since the loss to San Diego State in week 0, Ohio has scored 26.8 points per game. Meanwhile, Northern Illinois has been solid themselves. They're scoring 28 points per game. But these last 2 games for both teams, they've both scored over 30 points. These offenses are really, really clicking. And I know this weekend people are going to be talking about, Caleb Williams versus Sam Hartman, Bo Nix versus Michael Penix, DJU versus Dante Moore. Why are not a lot of people talking about Curtis Rourke versus Rocky Lombardi? That might be the most electric matchup this weekend. Over 47, Ohio, Northern Illinois.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Kyle's selling me on it. That's going to be the game that I count down the minutes to this weekend. That's going to be locked into that one. No other games are really on my horizon, I can't say.
Kyle, if this game was in November and it was Maction football on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, it would be the game of the century.
Absolutely.
I agree with you.
Absolutely. Why they didn't save it for a Tuesday, I don't know. I mean, we're talking about 2 titans at QB here with Rourke and Lombardi. I just can't believe that this is a Saturday game and not a midweek Maction game, but I digress. Corey, we'll go to you with your 4th round pick worth 2 units.
All right, for this one, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I'm switching up a couple things this episode. I'm not gonna take a underdog money line for my fifth round pick. I'm gonna take it in the second round and drink a little bit of juice here. I'm gonna take West Virginia money line over Houston.
Like it.
Be singing Country Roads on a Thursday night.
What's that line?
We've had some good ones with West Virginia this year.
Oh yeah, and I like making plays for the audience on Thursday and Friday nights to give them a little bit of action before the weekend starts. So this will be my pre-Saturday play. It's minus 155 on DraftKings.
Okay, sounds good. Does it seem like West Virginia plays on Thursdays a lot? I don't know. To me, it seems like they play like not on Saturdays quite a bit.
I think that's a fair assessment. And it's not just this season. I feel like last season probably goes into some of that feeling too.
Shout out B-Russ.
Yeah.
Beast, we'll go to you with your fourth round play worth 2 units.
All right. This was a play I was really wanting to take with, my 4 unit or my 3 unit play. Was kind of just hoping nobody would take it off the board. So I'm really glad it kind of fell to this point. But I am big on the Oregon Ducks this week. I'm going to take Oregon Ducks money line plus 143 at Better Edge. And that game is at Washington. I get it. Probably scares some people. I understand why Washington's favored, but we got to put some respect on the Ducks, man. They've been awesome. Our guy Bo Nix, 15 touchdowns to 1 interception passing. He's been absolutely electric, per usual. But the big thing with Oregon this season, and really in past seasons too, that defense, they are just the real deal. They're the difference maker in this game. When you look at their last 3 games, they're barely averaging over a touchdown allowed per game. It's 7.3. And one of those games was against the heralded Colorado and Deion Sanders, and this offense is supposed to be, so good. This is Pac-12 offense. They've been keeping up, putting up 40 spots on teams too, and they held them, absolutely in check, and they dominated that game from start to finish. I think Oregon understands that if you want to win the Pac-12, if you want to make it to the CFP, which they have those hopes, you got to beat Washington. You got to go in, take care of business, and there's certain teams you watch that you could just kind of envision them going on the road and taking care of business. Oregon's one of those teams that defense is just such smash mouth in your face. To get that at plus 143 at Better Edge, absolutely slam that. That is such a good line.
Yeah.
Love it. I wish that game was at night too. That'd be sick. But I think
I was just about to ask that, Pace. So we talked about this in the group chat. Somebody brought up so I believe the primetime game is USC Notre Dame. I do believe that's the primetime game on ABC. I don't know. I'm with whoever said it should have been. I agree that this is a primetime game that more people should be watching. I'm with you on that, Pace.
I'm just guessing people didn't think Washington's good, but I don't know if they thought maybe Notre Dame obviously wasn't going to lose to Louisville. So
yeah.
And quick fact, or not even fact check, but what Kyle said about West Virginia playing road games. Last year they played 3. This year they only played 1. But 3 last year, that's a lot.
Like weekday games, you're saying?
Yeah, sorry, weekday games. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was just curious. It seems like they get scheduled weekdays a lot, but here we are. Okay, nope. I like that pick, Beast. I think they very well could beat Washington. Is that at Washington or is that in Oregon?
Yep.
It's at Washington,
okay.
Which is kind of why you're getting that. Because if this game was in Eugene at Oregon, I think that might be a flipped line where Oregon's by 3. But I like that money line a lot.
Okay, sounds good. Nope, I like that too.
Nobody's going to say it. I mean, this is such a classic, traditional Big Ten rivalry game.
It is. You're right.
Yeah.
2 Big Ten powerhouses going at it.
Powerhouses, top 10 Big Ten matchup, baby.
That's so weird to think about. Okay, sounds good. Pace looks like you need a full game over and a team total. So where are you going here?
Yeah, I think I'm going to leave my team total for last. So I'm going to go with my full game over. I'm going to take Penn State UMass under 56.5.
Okay.
I think this is kind of like 46, whatever, 40 something to 3-0. I just don't think they're going to put up 50 plus points. I know UMass, not that great, but this under seems a little high for this type of game that I think it's going to be.
I about bet the over, thinking that Penn State might cover it themselves, but I don't think UMass might be scoring. So,
all right, the under's a lock if Kyle was going to bet the over.
Where are you at in the standings for the Kota Capper contest?
Damn it, I forgot about that. All right, I'll cut this part.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're the editor. That's tough. All right. Nope. Good pick, Pace. I like it. Action, you got back to back. You'll end round 4, start round 5. We'll go with your round 4 pick worth 2 units.
I'm a little depressed. I've had my challenge flag ready all night and I haven't been able to use it. Good picks. I'll go Cincinnati. Boring money line play, but I don't like to lose my money line bet, so I'll do the minus 218 there against Iowa State. One of the expansion teams from the Big 12 has to beat one of the other teams that was there before. Cincinnati will be the first to do it. They're coming off of a bye week. You got Iowa State, maybe a little bit of a letdown after their win over TCU. And TCU, they turned it over 4 times last week, committed, I don't know how many penalties. They gave it to Iowa State on a silver platter. So Cincinnati Bearcats roll in this one.
Okay. Sounds good. So if we don't have anything to add, let's start round 5 then with our 1 unit plays. Action, kick us off.
Since Kansas already got taken, I can't go there. I'll go Notre Dame minus the 2.5 against USC.
Okay.
No other commentary. I covered everything already. Notre Dame should be able to run the football. Just run the football. They were in a bad spot last week. I thought it was going to be a little bit of a letdown. I mean, they had to play Ohio State, Duke, Louisville 3 straight weeks. Now they get this without a bye week. You guys talk about emotionally drained for Colorado. Notre Dame was going to be in the same spot. They were coming off that emotional win over Duke. It's set up as that trap game with USC ahead. Notre Dame didn't get the job done at home against Ohio State. They're going to get it done in this one. So, yeah, I'll lay the 2.5.
Notre Dame's playing like they have nothing to lose at this point.
They get to try to ruin somebody's national championship hope since they're already done.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So they're playing with nothing to lose. Just a hypothetical question for the group while I'm thinking about it before we go to Pace here. Notre Dame wins. Is Caleb Williams still a Heisman frontrunner, do you guys think?
I mean, I don't think one loss.
Been pretty solid.
Yeah. He's got to be.
Okay. Because I know we've said on the show all the time the Heisman goes to the best player on one of the better teams. So I didn't know if a loss is going to ruin his Heisman odds.
Not against a top 20 defense.
Yeah.
On the road in bad conditions.
I think where it would get a little more hairy is if USC was to drop, another game or 2 in the Pac-12. We'll see. If they were to lose but you'd have to lose to Notre Dame and have another 1 to 2 losses in there for me to start thinking, well, maybe he only beat up on the bad teams or something. But I think him being the reigning Heisman, helps too, but it'll be interesting.
He also has to make a mistake. He's 22 touchdowns, 1 interception right now. He's got to make mistakes to not win it. I think it's his to lose still.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was just curious what everyone's thoughts were. Okay. Sounds good. And actually looking at the board right now, I believe Pace, Beast, Corey, and I all need a team total yet. So we're going to have a run on team totals to end, which is funny because last show, everybody took a team total in the first round. So it's funny that almost everyone saved their team total here. But Pace, we'll start with you. What do you got for your team total?
Yeah, I thought about Ohio State, but then I was like, Purdue. I don't know. I didn't love that. So I talked myself out of that one. I'm actually going to go Georgia Southern here, minus 105. James Madison, great against the run, but they're horrific against the pass. What do the Eagles like to do? They like to throw the football. So 4 touchdowns. I think they can get this against James Madison.
So it's over 28.
It's actually over 27.5.
27.5 at a minus 105. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I got not much to say. I actually like that pick. Okay. I guess we'll move on. Beast.
Moving on from a winner. All right, let's go.
I guess.
No
Beast, what do you got
challenge
for your
flags needed this week. Jeez.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I've loved everyone's picks so far, so it's been good. Beast, we'll go to you with your team total.
All right, we're gonna go to the Friday night game. Like Corey was saying, you got to have some Thursday, Friday action in there. So we're gonna go Memphis team total over 26.5. They're at home versus Tulane. That's at -110. So I like that line a lot. Very similar to pace, just kind of looking for 27, 28 points here. Friday night game. It's gonna be at home, like I said. They've hit this in every single game. We really do like our guy Seth Hennigan. He's a good player, and I think 26.5 points to get it at home. I get Tulane as a solid team this year, but Friday night vibes. The fans are going to be out there. They're going to be going nuts. 27 points. I think we could do it here.
If you don't like our guy Seth Hennigan, there's something wrong with you. That's a fact.
There you go.
Nope, good pick, Beast. I like it. And a little Friday night over is nothing better than that.
Yeah.
Just get off from a tough week, just betting over. I love it. Corey, we'll go to you with your team total here in the 5th round.
All right. Now don't get me wrong. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 written down. I have 4 written down. So all of my options are on the board. And I am going to zig when everybody thinks I'm going to zag. This might cause a challenge flag. We're going to see. I don't know if anybody's going to throw it. And it just doesn't make any sense. It's not going to make any sense. That's why it makes perfect sense. Indiana team total over 6.5.
Whoa, okay.
Michigan has given up at least 7 points in every game except for Bowling Green. And Indiana, this game's going to get out of hand. Michigan's having a backup defense at some point in time in there, and Indiana getting a touchdown.
That is disgusting.
That's so gross.
It's so gross,
man. I tell you what, we got a couple dads in the show this week, and they've seen a lot of diapers, but I don't know if they've seen anything that disgusting. Jeez.
Oh, it's ugly. It's ugly, and it's gonna hit.
I was gonna say it's ugly, but I think I love it actually.
right. Usually those are the best plays, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you might not get it until 90 seconds left in the game, but it'll happen.
It's the best bet to cheer for too. You just need literally just one touchdown. Just one touchdown.
One turnover, one stupid play, one anything.
Corey, I hope you get to light a cigar 5 minutes into the game. You get a touchdown on the first drive of that one.
There you go.
God. That would be.
How sick would that be?
Especially Michigan's shown up, slow or something after just dominating, and Indiana just getting quick, stupid touchdown like Rutgers did. God, would that be nice?
What do you got for a line on that, Corey?
-110.
Okay.
-220.
That's okay. Sounds good. Okay, to wrap up the draft, I've had the same team total for the past 3 or 4 weeks. It burned me last week when I bet it high, but I got it low, and I'm going to keep going with it. Kent State team total under 14.5 at it's 15.5. Actually, I wrote it down wrong. Kent State under 15, team total under 15.5. If Kent State's defense was good, this would be a classic sickos game. They're playing Eastern Michigan this week. Both offenses statistically one of the worst offenses in college football, but Kent State is not only one of the worst, they are the worst offense in college football. Yeah, they're worse than Iowa, if you can believe it. They're scoring 8.4 points per game. And Eastern Michigan, they're a solid defense. Their offense is terrible, but they are a solid defense, like a top 30 defense this year. I'm going to keep riding it until it burns me a second time. Kent State team total under 15.5 at a -115.
Love it. It's been on his card every single week.
Every week. Well, ever since their head coach went to Colorado, it's just not been the same flashy Kent State team that we all know. So, all right, gentlemen, that was a good snake draft. Let's go through the teams really quick and go through some honorable mentions if we have any. Action, Oregon State, UCLA, first half under 26.5 at a -110. UCLA, Oregon State, full game under 54.5. USC, team total under 30.5 at a -115. Cincinnati, money line at a -218. And Notre Dame, -2.5. Pace, Utah, Cal, first half under 23.5 at a -118. Stanford money line at a plus 330.
Just fucking laughs about it.
Well, I mean, for 4 units, that's insane. Utah State plus 5.5. Penn State, UMass under 56.5. Georgia Southern team total under 27.5 at a -105. Beast, Kansas, Oklahoma State under 58. Texas A&M plus 3. Syracuse, Florida State first half under 29.5 at a -110. Oregon money line at a plus 143. Memphis team total over 26.5 at a -110. Corey, Auburn, LSU over 61. Michigan State, Rutgers first half under 19.5 at a -110. Kansas -3. West Virginia money line at a -155. Indiana team total over 6.5 at a -110. My team, Troy -4.5. BYU money line at a plus 198. Navy, Charlotte first half under 22.5 at a -108. Ohio, Northern Illinois over 47, and Kent State team total under 15.5 at a -115. Any honorable mentions that we missed that you had written down that nobody took? Go ahead, Corey.
Yeah. I got a few. Obviously, Wisconsin, Iowa under. You just ride the under. It's going to hit 4 out of 5 years. It didn't hit 2 years ago, so we should still be riding that under train for that game. I also like Wisconsin's team total under 23.5. I wish it was 24.5. I like the Indiana Michigan over 46.5 in general. I mean, Michigan scored that over on their own. Ohio State, Purdue over 49. I like, and sneaky. I like too many Big Ten overs this week. Like, just Purdue's been hitting overs. Michigan's been hitting overs lately. Ohio State's been hitting overs. Illinois, Maryland could be a sneaky over for full games. So, I mean, 2 weeks ago, the Big Ten swept the board hitting overs. And I think that Vegas has kind of figured out those lines, and I think you're going to see more overs hit this week. But that Michigan State game and that Wisconsin-Iowa game, I think those are under Central.
Under Central, you heard it here first. Pace, what about you? Any honorable mentions that
Yeah. I think I love Florida. I just haven't figured it out yet, but I do like Florida there. I'm with Beast. I like Oregon. I think they can win that game outright. I also like, let's see, the Georgia minus 31.5. I know it looks so, but it's still Vandy, and I know Vandy's like, oh, so as well, up and coming. But I do think Georgia, at some point, you got to start getting right at the right time, and I think starts here at Vandy. So I like those couple there. So I'm sure I'll add more throughout the week, but those are just kind of the top ones that I didn't take in a snake draft.
Okay, sounds good. Action. What about you? Any honorable mentions?
No honorable mentions. I'm just concerned about Corey's health right now because I've never heard him say the word over so much in my entire life.
Oh, I got one more for you. Stanford, Colorado over. Take that one to the bank too.
I mean, this is. I'm concerned about this guy. Welfare check coming up this weekend.
Me and Thomas live in Sioux City. We'll both go to his house and check.
Yeah, please. I think he needs some support right now.
Okay, sounds good. Beast, any honorable mentions that we missed?
One game you talked about it a little bit was that Ohio and Northern Illinois game. Something intrigues me about Northern Illinois catching 6.5, probably, might even get up to 7, by game time at home. That's just a lot of points in that sense. So I could see. I know that Northern Illinois has had some pretty ugly matchups, but anything can happen in the MAC. And to get that much points at home, you're catching a whole touchdown, essentially. Like I said, it may get up to 7 before game time. If that touches 7, that would be a really nice look for a team at home. we always see these weird outcomes in the MAC in the first place, so that would be a one to keep an eye on for the viewers out there.
Okay. Sounds good. A couple more I had that I didn't play. Utah first half -6.5 is a -122. I think they're going to come out. Whether Rising plays or not, I think they do. They had a tough loss in Corvallis. I think they come out and they play a little better. So I think that I like them -6.5 in the first half there. USC Notre Dame, I actually like the under of 62.5. I think these two teams are going to play very, very close with each other. And like Action said, the weather is going to be pretty iffy there in South Bend. So I don't like that. So I don't mind that at all. And then UCLA +4.5 was the other spread I had. There's a little bit of RLM and just like reading the game. 60% of the public is betting Oregon State. Line hasn't moved. So I think that's pretty suspicious for me. And I think UCLA they need a statement win this year. They've been kind of coasting for a while. I think they really need a statement to happen here. So I do like them +4.5. All right. Sounds good, gentlemen. Well, let's do upsets of the week and locks of the week to wrap up the show. Upset of the week, a flagship contest. We've been doing this the past 3 seasons. You have to have an underdog of at least 7 points, and that underdog must win outright to get you a point. We are due for an upset of the week. We actually haven't had an upset since Action picked South Alabama over Oklahoma State. So we are very, very due for an upset of the week here. But really quick standings right now. Action is in first with 2 upsets picked this year. Myself, Thomas, and Beast are tied with 1. Corey and PG not on the board yet, but again, long season to go here. But let's go through our upsets of the week. And Pace is the guest. We'll start with you. Who do you got for your upset of the week?
I mean, I have to take Stanford, right?
You have to.
Yeah. I have to. So
to.
That is my upset.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Corey, we'll go to you. What is your upset of the week?
I don't have one, and I was really hoping to get lucky. I was looking at I was hoping to find a book that had TCU at -7, and I'm not finding it anywhere. So just give me a second. We'll throw a dart at the board somewhere. Iowa. Give me Iowa money line.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I got a little bit of selfish reasons there, but it's a rivalry game. Anything can happen. I don't know.
His selfish reasons he's over, so putting Iowa as his upset is just a shot in the dark.
It keeps Nebraska's destiny in their own hands in the West, actually. Like, they control their own destiny if Iowa wins that game.
They don't until Wisconsin, right?
Nebraska controls their own destiny if Iowa beats Wisconsin.
Okay. I'm following you. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thomas is normally a full-time panelist. He could not be here this week. So I will quickly, his upset of the week is Northern Illinois +7 over Ohio is where he's going for his upset of the week. For me, I'm going to go to the American Conference, and I'm going to take UAB over UTSA. UAB is a +8.5 underdog. I never expected UTSA to be playing as poorly as they are, and I especially would have never guessed that Frank Harris is going to be playing as poorly as he is. 761 yards, 5 TDs, and 3 INTs through 5 games. They're hosting UAB. UAB put up 56 points last week against South Florida, and I know Trent Dilfer is going to have that team ready to roll going to the Alamo Dome. I think they're going to put the nail in the coffin and pretty much put an end to UTSA's season, and I'm going to take UAB over UTSA. Beast, who do you have for your upset of the week?
I'm going Arizona +8.5 at Washington State. The big question mark for most people here is Jaden Delora going to play? But I was pretty impressed by that redshirt freshman, Fafita, for Arizona the last 2 weeks. Obviously had USC on the ropes, in that game, and played pretty well. They've made it very clear after that game that if Delora is healthy, he's the guy. But I like Arizona, whether it's Fafita or Delora. Whoever. Give me somebody. They both have shown they can play. I think they could pull it off. I know Washington State's pretty well coached, and typically they're pretty good at against avoiding an upset, but we'll take Arizona.
Okay. Sounds good. And action, wrap it up. Who do you got?
I like home teams off of a bye against a team in a letdown spot. Plug your nose and give me Pittsburgh over Louisville.
Ooh, okay.
I did. Yeah.
Why do you love picking teams that I don't like?
That one, it feels so ugly, but that's why it kind of same thing. It kind of does make sense.
I like the bet, but I'm just not going to make it.
I just want to win, Corey. You picked Iowa. I mean, like I said, you're betting overs and you're picking Iowa. I am concerned for you, my friend. I mean, you're not my friend because you cashed on that big ticket for me on Illinois last week against Nebraska with that under. I mean yeah. So you're in good graces right now. So I'm really concerned about you.
I appreciate it. Looking forward to the day before Thanksgiving party too, by the way.
Yeah. The invite will be there.
I kind of miss the action versus Corey beef. I don't like this whole you two getting along thing.
That's just because you're a hater. You're a hater.
It can change on a dime. Don't worry.
I'm a man that loves content. Action's rant about Colorado as his lock of the week might have been one of our most viewed videos in a while on the Twitter page.
Well, I mean, we're getting close to the end of the season, and this Texas thing is going to boil over at some point.
Oh man, that video is funny by the way. And I'm like Coach Dion, I keep receipts too. That was good.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, let's round up the show with locks of the week. Lock of the week, very simple. The lock hits, you get a point. If it doesn't, you don't. Very simple. Current standings right now. Action and Corey tied for the lead with a 5-1 record. Beast in third with a 2-1 record. I'm in fourth with 4-2. Thomas is in third with a 2-4. PG will get him rated next week when he's back on the show. But since he has only been on 2 shows, he has a 1-1 record, currently not rated. Let's go through our locks of the week. Say Thomas is first. Thomas, the Iowa man, the Iowa fan, is taking Wisconsin -10 as his lock of the week.
Wow.
Has he hit one yet?
He's 2-4 on the year, so
I guess you really can't lose, with that one. If Iowa gets pounded, then he's happy. But
definitely an emotional hedge.
Right.
Definitely an emotional.
Didn't he take Nebraska +3 last week?
He did.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep,
I see what he's doing here. I see his.
Pace, start us off. What do you got for your lock of the week?
I'm going to take Miami. I'm going to take Miami against UNC. UNC's beat them, I think, 4 straight times. And Miami, like Action said, I still think they're a very good team. They got to flush whatever happened last week. And I think they end the streak here. 4 losses in a row to UNC. I think they can get it done.
Oh, so you're taking the money line as your lock?
No, excuse me. Sorry. +4.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, I think they're going to be looking at last game and saying, can we bounce back from it? So that could be a good bounce back game. I like it.
They can bounce back. Just Chris Paul's just not going to be. Just don't be an idiot, and you'll be fine. Like,
right.
Kneel the
damn
simple.
ball.
Like, yeah, that's what sucks.
Okay, sounds good. For me personally, I had the money line, and I really like the money line. I do think they're going out right, but I like their spread very, very much. I'm going to take BYU +5 as my lock of the week. I think that's a really, really weird number considering how bad TCU's been and how good BYU has been. I think this is a great opportunity for them to go into TCU and beat them outright. And I think if they don't beat them outright, I think they'll keep it within a score. So I like BYU +5 as my lock of the week.
I love that. I remember somebody talking about how BYU belonged in the Big 12 from a program tradition standpoint. So I'm loving these BYU picks.
I also remember that.
How could you forget?
Yeah, exactly.
People forget they're the only other team besides Oklahoma and Texas to win a national championship out of that conference.
I also don't forget somebody that was like super high in Illinois. Nobody here, of course, but yeah.
Way out the window. We're off
Yeah.
that. We've been off that train for weeks. I think Fresno State, maybe it was Fresno State week 1, kind of ruined that.
Yeah, this dude was calling them like top 14 playoff team.
No, Jesus, no. Incremental progress is what I expected, not bottoming out. But it's okay because we love to see Brett Bielema fail.
Correct.
Beast, lock of the week. What do you got?
We're gonna stick with one of my favorite things to do this season so far is a team that you think is gonna win outright. You know, if you're all over their money line, you know, and they're an underdog, you might as well go with that underdog spread. So we're gonna take the Oregon Ducks +3 here. Big fan of the Ducks this week. Obviously, I kind of highlighted that with my, money line play, but it really is a game that I think they can win outright. And at that point, why not take the spread? Why not take the money line? The big thing I really did talk about is that Oregon defense has just been disgusting. And when you look at some of these Oregon wins this year, they're blowing teams out, man. I know they haven't had like the prettiest schedule in the world, but they're winning games and they're kind of showing dominance in that. So we're going to take them +3. I think there's a little bit of disrespect being put on their name, and I hope that they prove everybody wrong. It would be really cool if they came out and just shoved it down Washington's throat.
Heyo.
Heyo.
I don't know if you guys remember the Washington-Oregon game last year. That was a fun game. I think it was like in November, but I think Washington beat them, didn't they? But I just remember that being an awesome game. Super high score.
Oh, that rivalry is awesome. And my favorite thing about that rivalry is it doesn't matter which stadium is at. That home field advantage and that environment is always just crazy. I mean, that Husky Stadium and Autzen are amazing home venues for their home teams. Like, I just love it.
Fun fact about that, the visitor in this series, it has won straight up and against the spread the last 3 years. And over the last 7 years, the visitor is 6-1 against the spread.
Huge.
Hell yeah.
Huge. Actually, just backing me up because I don't do my research. So I love that guy.
Huge news for our man Beast picks.
There we go.
Huge news. Action, what do you got for your lock of the week?
Notre Dame -2.5. Go Fighting Irish.
All right. Sounds good. Okay. And Corey, wrap it up. What do you got for your lock of the week?
Well, I wish I had seen that KU line -3 before I made the first half under for Michigan State Rutgers. I still like both of them. I'm jumping back and forth between the Auburn LSU over, but it just doesn't make sense. And I love Kansas. Jayhawks -3. Rock chalk.
All right. Sounds good. We all went with a spread for our lock of the week. I don't think in 3 seasons that's ever happened. So, okay. Sounds good. Well, gentlemen, this has been fun. Pace, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to hop on. Hopefully, we'll see you next week. Hopefully,
depends how I do this week. So we'll
fair.
Yeah, depends if he wants to show his face after.
Yeah,
I think ultimately it depends on how Stanford does.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Yeah. Corey's correct. Yep, Action's correct. Yep. If Stanford loses, we'll see you next year. We'll be all right. But if they win, I think I'm gonna make the sixth person on the show, Kyle. So make room for me.
All right. All right. Sounds good. Yeah. Thanks for hopping on. We really do appreciate it. Beast, safe travels tomorrow to the city that you're going to. I don't know if you want to reveal it on the show, but safe travels.
Good catch.
Corey in Action. Good to see you as always. Action, best of luck with your thing next week that you won't be on the show for.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right. Sounds good. Well, great show, gentlemen. It was good to talk to you all. That'll do it for episode 8 of the Kota Capper College Football Central Show. Tune in next week as we cover week 7 and we do a snake draft for week 8. See you, boys.
Yeah.